So this is a follow-up on my previous video on the Shopsmith lathe. I had some tips and tricks that I shared if you reviewed it. I made a tool rest, and the tool rest that comes with the Shopsmith has a short post, and so in order to elevate it you had to use the second lever to adjust this whole arm up and down. Well, when I made the rest, I took a 12-inch piece of round stock, cut an 8-inch rest, and used a 4-inch piece to make the up and down. So now what I find is 90% of the time I can do all my controls with just elevating and turning just this one control and not have to do multiple ones. The opening is just barely under 3/4 of an inch, and I looked, and the closest stock that was easy to get a hold of and reasonable price was 11/16, and there's a tiny little gap, but I have had no problem even using half-inch bowl gouge, etc. It is locked quite well, and I've not had any difficulty for what that's worth. A viewer recently mentioned that I had showed using a Morris taper extension to give you some play in the space between the headstock and the tailstock, and that he was getting some play. And the Mark 7 comes with 2 set screws on the eccentric center, which is a little more stable. The other day, right after he had made that comment, I had a really thick piece of wood on here, and it was about 18 inches long, and all of a sudden I got a little wobble, and one of the screws had loosened up. So I have a tailstock from another Mark 5 that I got, and what I did is I went ahead and drilled and tapped and put the Shopsmith set screws in there, and that seemed to work pretty well. What I also did after this loosened up on me the other day was I put in some longer screws. They're 1/2 inch long, and my thought process is that when you turn the screw in, you turn it a little bit in from the top, and this way the screw has purchase throughout the entire length of the threads, which hopefully will give a little more purchase and maybe prevent it from loosening up as easily. So that's what I do for what it's worth.